Hey guys, what is going on? It's BeckoningCow here, and welcome back to another video. So, today I'm going to be showing you the deck which wins me nearly every game in traditional standard ranked. So, this is my Gruul Adventures deck. Over the past week, I've kind of built this up and just refined it just to make sure it's the best deck list possible. I have previously been playing a lot of Jund, but I felt that with the change in meta for it to suit a more aggressive deck, I would switch decks to play Gruul Adventures because this suits the meta a lot better, especially because this is an aggressive deck. It uses Embercleave, so it can go toe to toe with the decks such as Rakdos aggro and probably more prominently mono red aggro. And essentially, the reason that this is better than both of those decks is because it's got bigger bodies. So what this can do is it has the threats of swinging in alongside being able to block the smaller creatures which they're throwing at me. Um, And so before I go to explain the deck list side by side, I just want to ask you guys if you could subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment for more of this deck. I'm going to have some other decks coming out in the near future, some maybe a little bit weirder decks with some combos, but I'm looking forward to it. Um, but yeah, let's go into explaining this deck. So we start off with Edgewing Keeper. Now, some Gruul Aggro decks don't play Edgewing Keeper. However, I think this is one of the most key cards in the deck because the problem with a lot of green decks is card draw. Now, I know that some decks play Great Henge in their decks to get their card draw and just buff up their creatures. However, I'm not quite a fan of the Great Henge. I just think it takes a lot longer to get out, and also by the time you're on those turns, I would rather be spending my mana to play more creatures and play the Embercleave to get the damage in, rather than playing the Great Henge and kind of not wasting a turn so much, but not getting as much damage in as possible. So I prefer to play Edgewing Keeper sooner onto the start because the card draw will proc a lot more. Because we've got cards like Rimrock Knight. Rimrock Knight is amazing when you take Embercleave into the equation because if you the +2 on it would buffer damage by 4, and when it's got trample, that's insane. Also, as 2 mana for a 3/1 attacker, that's very good. But like it's a really nice card. We've got a Pelt Collector, so whenever another creature enters, if the power is greater, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Now, considering we have an aggressive kind of Gruul build, all the creatures that will enter will have a power greater than it. So what we kind of hope to do with this card is we play Pelt Collector, then maybe a Paradise Druid, then maybe a Rimrock Knight, then a Bone Crusher, then a Lovestruck Beast, just to maximise the damage. However, even if you just play Pelt Collector and then Rimrock Knight, it still makes it a 2/2, and then you can play a Bone Crusher or a Gruul Spellbreaker. So I just really like that card in this deck. It works very well, and it's kind of the key, not a key component, but it's one of those must-have cards for every Gruul deck. Then I've got Paralyzed Druid. This is just for mana fixing. We don't want to be running out of mana later on and not getting the cards we need. Then I have Bone Crusher Giant. The adventure ability on this is nice, dealing 2 damage. Because in standard at the moment there's a lot of lower toughness creatures in a lot of the decks, I like Bone Crusher a lot. And also for 3 mana for 4/3, that when it becomes a damage, deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. It's just a very nice card. It's a really, really solid card to put in a deck, especially with the Edgewing Keeper to get another kind of synergy with that. Lovestruck Beast, I also really like that because we've also got the Edgewing Keeper as a 1/1. Um, it's a lot easier to attack with it because we have more 1/1s on the battlefield, which basically, if they get rid of the 1/1 this creates, then you've still got the Edgewing Keeper to swing, to allow Lovestruck Beast to swing through. And 3 mana for a 5/5 body, you just can't get much better. Then we've got Gruul Spellbreaker, 3 mana, Riot, so you can choose to either give it a +1/+1 counter or haste when it enters. Now with Riot ability, if you're not going to kill them on the swing through, or at least like increase your chances dramatically, I would always give it the +1/+1 counter. A lot of people that are new to playing with Riot choose to give it haste because, oh my god, an extra 3 damage. But then again, giving it the +1/+1 counter in the long run, when you're swinging with it multiple times and you're going to be having it back as a blocker, giving the +1/+1 counter is just a lot better. Then I've added Clofist to the deck. So this is a 4/5 indestructible for 3 mana. It's not a creature if your devotion to red or green is less than 7. Devotion means how many of these symbols there are. So this costs 1 green, this costs 1 green. So if I had 2 of these, my devotion is 2. But because we're solely Gruul, it shouldn't be quite that difficult to get our devotion up to 7. Because this guy's got a red and a green in his cost too, that means that you only need to have 5 other devotion on the battlefield to enable him. Also, his bottom ability is nice. You can exile cards from graveyards, and if it's lands, you can add mana. Otherwise, I gain 2 life and I hit them for 2. So that's a 4 damage life swing. So that can be really good. Even if I have that ability happen only once or twice, it's still I really like that. Then we have Questing Beast. Now, Questing Beast is so good in this deck. For 4 mana, for 4/4, Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste. I mean, already, that's an insane card. Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Now, because we're playing in quite an aggressive format at the moment, there are a lot of lower toughness creatures. So a lot of the time, my opponent won't be able to block, or at least the blockers he does allow to have will be very limited. Then, combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. So if they have fogs, then that won't do anything. However, in this format, there isn't much fogs, so you don't really have to worry about that ability. Then, whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target Planeswalker that player controls. So, if you're playing against a Teferi, a Nissa, a Elspeth, so if you're playing against any Planeswalkers, this deals. You can swing in, hit them in the face, deal them damage, and also knock down their Planeswalkers as well. You can't double it up, so you can't attack a Planeswalker and then double the damage. So you've kind of got to attack them, but at the same time, it's still a really nice ability. Then I've got 1 Skagenhal Kite in the deck, 5 mana, Riot Flying. So essentially, the reason why I've got this in the deck is for later on into the game when both of our boards have been developed. Skagenhal Kite can be really nice as a fly just to get over the top, and also the second ability on it, dealing 2 damage if it has a +1/+1 counter. Well, dealing 2 damage amongst 2 targets, well, 1 or 2 targets, sorry. I just like that ability, considering, once again, as I've said quite a few times now, aggressive format, lower toughness creatures, more value. Then the card which this deck is kind of built around Embercleave. So you guys by now will for sure know what Embercleave does. It's just very good. It's kind of warping the format around it at the moment, just like Oko did when that was first released, and kind of how Nissa has for the past month or two. But it's not as busted as Oko, I don't think. However, I think its power levels are kind of on the same tier as Nissa, in how much impact it has on the game. Then for my mana base, 2 cast Lembrefs. This is just to have a massive buff along your board. Well, by massive I mean 1 toughness, but with Embercleave and other spells, that can be really good. Then we have 7 mountains, 9 forests, just classic basic lands. Then 3 stomping grounds. I don't want to play 4 stomping grounds, mainly because I don't want to be taking that much damage, and I think our mana fixing is already good enough. And I also have Fabled Passage. Now, I've only got 3 of them because I want to be able to start with my turn 1s and 2 plays, but it's just nice mana fixing for later on into the game, if we're missing a land, say. So that's the main deck there. That's basically what will win you most of the game 1s. Now we have sideboard. We start off Ember of Shieldbreaker. It's an adventure card, so it gets some other synergies with the decks. For 1 mana, destroy target artifact. That's good against Witch's Oven and also Embercleave. It can be used against. Actually, is Embercleave an artifact? I think it is. I'm just not sure if it's an artifact or yep, it's an artifact. So it can be very good against that. Then we have Scorching Dragonfire. Now, because of cards such as Anax, sorry, this is really good. Also, it can be used to kill Nissa's lands and a whole host of other 3 toughness creatures. Also, for cards such as Cauldron Familiar, this can be really good because it exiles those. And also just generally other escape creatures, maybe Woe Strider if you really want to. Then I've got Domri's Ambush. That could be good to kill other creatures. Say you're playing a deck and you want to buff the power of your creatures and kill theirs. This can be really nice. Then I have Thrashing Brontodon just against artifact and enchantment heavy decks. Say we're playing against Jeskai or some other decks like that. or just other decks which play a lot of artifacts and enchantments. You guys know what I mean. Then Cosmotronic Wave. This can be really good in the mirror because when we've built our board state up, they've built their board state up. We're at a stalemate. If one of us swings, we win. If I play Cosmotronic Wave, creatures your opponent's control can't block this turn. So essentially, you've got free attack. Then we have Shifting Ceratops. Spell can't be countered. Protection from blue. So this is very good against your Simic decks and your Azorius Control and just a lot of the control-y blue decks in the matchup. But that is the deck. Hopefully I've managed to explain that to the best of my ability. Now, let's get into the games. Here we go then into our first game. Now, our starting hand isn't very good, so mulligan that. This hand isn't very good either. However, I think we have to keep it. So, we kind of need to draw into place. Okay, so he's mulligan too, so there's always a chance that he has a hand which is just as bad. As you've kind of seen from my deck list, this kind of thing shouldn't be happening. However, it is, so we've kind of got to roll with it. I will sack this Fabled Passage to get myself a green. I don't want to give him any advantage as to what I am playing. Suck it, get a green. He's not going to play anything with 1 mana because I don't. There's no kind of plays he can make with just 1 green mana in the deck he's playing, because he is actually playing the. Okay. He is playing the. I think it's the mill kind of deck. I'm not quite sure how you say it. So here, what I can do is I can even Questing Beast, swing in for 4, but what I will actually decide to do is I'll not Questing Beast, I'll Pelt Collector and then Gruul Spellbreaker. This just gives me a better swing for next turn. Maybe he has a bounce spell. Okay, so he bounces my Pelt Collector to my hand. So next turn I'll play Pelt Collector Questing Beast. That'll be no real surprise. So there's nothing which this guy can really do to board wipe me. That's the main problem with the Bant colours. So Teferi. Okay, so he plays Teferi, probably bouncing Gruul Spellbreaker. Yeah.
Might be a bad idea.
Okay, so this turn, like I said, I'm going to get myself a green mana because we need 3 green mana to play our Questing Beasts and Pelt Collectors. Forest, Pelt Collector first, so we get the trigger off of our Questing Beast. Swing in. Now, this is like I said earlier, having Questing Beast against Planeswalker decks is very good because it can get a lot of damage through. So next turn I'll Pelt Collector Gruul Spellbreaker. Okay, so he plays Elspeth, getting rid of my Questing Beast. Well, that sucks, but there's nothing you can really do in this situation against that. Spellbreaker, give it a counter. I don't think that they can play Heart's Desire, is that called on Lovestruck Beast? So non-creature spells cost 2 more to cast. Well, that's not exactly a problem for us. And there we go, we've won the first game against him. This deck can be just really good against the more slower decks, and it also has a relatively good matchup against the quicker decks. So it's a case of why would you not play this deck? Because a lot of the slower decks have problems with the quicker aggressive decks, and a lot of the smaller quicker aggressive decks have problems with this deck. So I just think this is the best deck in the meta right now. However, other people think it's stuff such as Team of Reclamation. Well, let's think about sideboarding against this guy then. So he's Bant, so he's playing blue, and he'll have some stuff which can get rid of Shifting Ceratops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Shifting Ceratops because it has protection from Teferi, it has protection from the Brazen Borrower. Then let's think about what I sideboard in outside of that, and I don't think there's much. So if we look at sideboarding out, I'm going to take out a Skargan Hellkite, and I'm going to take out a Let's take out a Bone Crusher Giant. I like the Rimrock Knight as a small play. I was kind of considering it, considering getting rid of it, but actually against this slower deck, I would love to have a Rimrock Knight on my turn 2 to keep piling on the pressure onto him, make him deal with that. Okay, this is a really nice hand here. So we've got Edgewall Innkeeper, Gruul Spellbreaker. So turn 1, let's chuck down this. Getting the land here is really good as well. Next turn I'll play Stomping Ground tapped. Okay, he has another Scry. I never really like to see people topping Scries. Hopefully the Scry, the first Scry he did was actually to get the land, and he's actually mana screwed in hand. I'm not quite sure that that'll be the case. However, I've got to hope. Okay. Teferi? Yeah, there's a Teferi. Bounces my Edgewall Innkeeper to my hand. Now, this turn, what I'll do is I'll just set up for the next turn. So I'll just Edgewall Innkeeper and Pelt Collector. So next turn I will probably play... Actually, let's start thinking about my next turn now. So what I could do is I could either play Lovestruck Beast or Gruul Spellbreaker, or I could play Questing Beast. I like Questing Beast more here. So what is he going to do? And then the turn after I will play my Lovestruck Beast. There's just a general lack of board wipes. There's Shatter the Skies, which he could play. That does 4 damage. So actually, if I consider Shatter the Skies as a card, I think I might actually prefer to play... If I consider Shatter the Skies, I like Lovestruck Beast. But I'm not sure that he has it in his hand. We've got a lot of green in our hand, so I'll go for the forest. It doesn't really matter, but you've just got to kind of consider these things. Say he has a board wipe here. I'm thinking about whether I swing in with Pelt Collector. I will definitely swing in with a 1-1. Okay, we can take that action. I don't mind leaving it a turn. We'll swing in with a 1-1 here. I don't want to swing in with a Pelt Collector or Edgewall Innkeeper because that's a good block. However, I want to threaten, just keep putting damage in. If he gets rid of that 1-1, I don't mind too much. Here we might see a Nissa. Dream Trawler. Okay. Okay, Buster. We've kind of just got to out-aggro the Doom Trawler here. There's no way around it. We've just got to keep pumping in the damage. Questing Beast. Next turn I will hope to get a mana. So then I can play Paradise Druid and Clothis I will actually play. So he gains 5 life, but I think we swing in for a lot more next turn. So he goes up to 17, but we have an equally massive attack next turn. We've got to win in 3 turns. That shouldn't be that much of a problem. Okay. Let's play Clothis, because then we get our... That did... Because it doesn't enter as a creature, of course. This gets our devotion up to 7. There you go. Swinging in like this, if he blocks the Edgewall Innkeeper with my Paradise Druid, that's fine. I'm taking away a blocker from him. And of course, next turn I will be able to swing in for... so he gets himself back up to 17. I will be able to swing in for 4, 6. This will be up to... Actually, I won't be swinging with the Paradise Druid. So I'll be swinging for 4, 8, 9, 13. Actually, do I swing for Gruul Spellbreaker? I think I might. time wipe. Well, that sucks. I mean, that, yeah. Exile card from a graveyard. Let's get rid of Teferi. Then, here comes our Gruul Spellbreaker. Woo! Hopefully we get a card with 2 mana so we can get our Clothis online. I'm thinking maybe... Hopefully we get Quest and Beast. That's basically what we need here. Skark and Hellkite could also be nice. Have we already... No, Skark and Hellkite could be nice. Just to be a blocker for Dream Trawler, actually, I really like Skark and Hellkite here. We're swinging with a Gruul Spellbreaker. This will actually hit him down. Hopefully he blocks it. Okay, he didn't. End the turn. So we're still waiting on a select few cards. This does... I think this position is still okay for us. We don't need that many cards to be able to start controlling the game again. Okay, Nissu Shakes the World kind of changes that. Yeah, just we concede these games. So thinking about him and his what's it called? Let's drop down on a Gruul spell actually. Bone Crusher Jar, let's drop down on. So basically I'm thinking about his Dream Trawler here by putting in the Skargan Hellkite just because I like it as a blocker. I wasn't sure whether he had Dream Trawler in the deck, which is why I took it out. And now I know that it is in the deck, we can slap it back in. Play first. Okay, we need a nice aggressive hand here. It's not that aggressive. I'll keep it though. Hopefully we get some good draws. Okay. Let's play Paradise Druid. Next turn I'll be able to get in 4 points of damage. Right, it's off for the trade. Right, so we buff this up, do 4 points of damage. And then we play our Rimrock Knight. So next turn we've got 5 points of damage on board. However, it's going to be more than that because we're going to Ember Cleave our bad boy up. What else does he have to play here? Another Paradise Druid, eh? Insane. I feel like it's best just trying to go in for the damage here. If he doesn't block. Okay. So if we think about it, we get 10 points of damage in. Yeah, I like this more because it gives us the ability to come back at him if he time wipes. And he's also got to deal with our board. So what is he going to do? He's going to play Nissa. I think actually with the Nissa, that kind of leaves us open for the win if he can't do anything else. So if we swing him with everything, he has to block. Yeah, I have a feeling. To combat. Unless he bounces a spell. We'll attack. We swing at him. And then we have the Embercleave left up in hand for if he... Okay. Alright, well this means we win if he blocks like this. So he's going to Brazen Burrow this back to hand. Wish to keep this. Then let's equip this onto here. So we just want to kill his land here. That means he'll have no forest left. Once again, he has to deal with our Paradise Druid. Otherwise we win. He knows what we have in hand. We've got our Rimrock Knight, so if we Rimrock Knight up, okay.
Sorry I'm late.
So here's Paradise Druid. Sorry, not Paradise Druid. If we get a land here, I think it's really nice. Does he just swing in for 7? No, he doesn't. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play... What am I going to play? I think let's consider the options here. If I play Edgewilling Keeper, Lovestruck Beast. Yeah, I think Edgewilling Keeper, Lovestruck Beast is the best placed way to go. So, we also get a card draw for that, which is quite nice. I'm not sure our position here is amazing, but we kind of just got to go with it here. It also stops him kind of being able to attack, because our Lovestruck Beast can block the Temple Garden. That's kind of why I did this. I chose to play like this. The next turn I can Embercleave my Lovestruck Beast and leave the Rimrock Knight open to buff it. He's only got 3 cards in hand, so I think from that perspective, it's very nice. From what I can see, this guy has nothing to play, and he has no way to stop my Lovestruck Beast. What could he have? Hydroid Crisis for 4. Give yourself 2 life.
I've got it.
Okay.
Nature's true power.
Swings in for 3. That won't be able to attack anyway. So this turn it's kind of... we have to win. So if I swing in with Question... yeah. Equip it onto here. This has to go well or else we lose. I'll swing in with Edgewilling Keeper as well just to get another point of damage. Alright, see what how this guy wants to block. I don't think he has any responses in hand, so... yeah, and there we go. He's conceded the game. So even though then, although he had his Nissa, his Hydroid Crisis and all of that, we still won because this deck is just super, super good. I'm kind of burning through Diamond at the moment, already won my first 4 games. Hopefully we'll be Mythic later on in the week. Now let's get into our next game. Here we go then. Next game coming right up. So, turn 1 we've got our Pelt Collector, then turn 2. Turn 2 is a difficult one. if we don't get draw a land, I think it's going to have to be. Okay, we get a land, but it's not quite the right one. So I think next turn will just be setting up. So I think I'll play a Fabled Passage and a Pelt Collector. Okay, especially against this hand. It really is. Not sure why I didn't swing there, to be honest, but hey ho. Next turn I will play Paradise Warrior and get a 1 from the Lovestruck Beast. Nice to attackers. I mean, I'm baffled as to why this guy's not attacking. Obviously he doesn't have much in hand, but even so, still a bit weird. I think just to fully take them out of range, I'm not going to swing in this turn. I'd rather just leave them up as a good blocker. Then next turn I can play Questing Beast and just swing it down. And then the turn after that, okay, turn comes. So I'm playing this Junk Food deck. Fair enough. Haven't seen one of these in a little while. I've obviously played Jund Food, but I haven't actually seen someone else play Jund Food, is kind of what I mean. So we play Questing Beast here, we could just play the Upper Pelt Collector on a free toughness creature, but no. So this gets us to win here. As I said earlier, I stopped playing Jund Food, mainly because of the growth of aggressive decks. That hand would have been good against a slower deck. Actually, I don't think it even would have. I just think that was a generally poor hand that he took. So we take. I don't think. Yeah, we need Brontodons. So what I'll do is I'll take out. Lovestruck Beast could be good against it. Okay, so I'll take out a Skarg and Hellkite, and a Rimrock Knights can be worse. I'll take out some of them. I'll take out a Bone Crusher Giant. I'll drop down on Lovestruck Beast. I'll drop down on Spellbreaker. Hopefully we haven't made the deck an awful lot less aggressive by adding in the Scorching Dragonfires for some creatures, but we have to have that there to kill the Mayhem Devil when it comes in. Mayhem Devil is just such a good card against the deck. I'm saying that because I haven't actually played against Jund before with this deck, but I've played it the other way around. And I've played with a Jund, and I know how bad Scorching Dragonfire can feel. Because Mayhem Devils, Cauldron Familiars, all of that stuff, they just take a lot of a beating by Scorching Dragonfire. The whole deck's just not very good when playing against it. So he's going to go first again. Hopefully he gets a similarly awful hand and similarly awful draws. Okay, we got a pretty poor hand there. Keep this. Drop down on the mountain. We need the double green for Questing Beast. We don't really want to be playing. Just playing for Embercleave. Next turn we play Mountain Lovestruck Beast. Okay, what is he going to play? Maybe. Bit of a weird addition to the deck, but if he wants to play Action Giant in his Jund Food deck, he can go for it. Just because if he doesn't get a sack trigger off to kill the 1/1 next turn, I can get a good swing with it. Go in with it now. Questing Beast is nice here as well. Okay, he's not going to okay, there we go. That's essentially the game. I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean that is the game. What's he gonna do? I mean, he can wipe us out easily. What's he gonna do damage to? Good game, mate. Good game. You got me. Now we're going to the second, well, third actually game now. We're playing first, so this is more favoured for us. I don't think there was any problems with how we sideboarded there. I just think we got a bit, we didn't get the first hand that we wanted. He seemed to sideboard okay. I mean, I'm not sure whether Bone Crusher Giant was him sideboarding it in. If it was, I'm not too sure about it. I guess it's a good blocker and it can kill some of my early threats. So from that, it can be seen as a correct play to do. We haven't seen the MVP yet in this game. I kind of want to see that. Okay, this is decent. This is actually, like, as a hand goes, this can be one of the best. We've got an answer to a Mayhem Devil. We've got aggression. So here, Paradise Druid, next turn. I think I'll go with land. Sorry, not land. Well, definitely land, sorry. Land and Love Struck Beast, because I think a Love Struck Beast would be a really nice play. There's that idea gone. Free hit. Next turn, I'll be swinging in for 10, 10, 11, 13. Just have to hope. So here, what I'll do is I will pay to exile it potentially. No, not exile it now, but actually I should have exiled just in case. Very valuable card. Looking at the top 2 cards of his library right now. We can't see it, but we will be able to see it when he reveals it. Okay, there's a land. So potentially that's a potentially he's got a Corvold in hand. So we get him down to 2 points of life, sorry. Say he's got a Mayhem Devil in hand. I think if he plays Corvold here, we still win. So I'm hoping that that's what he was playing for. If we play Massacre Girl, our guy doesn't die. You can add that, sack that for another black mana. Cavalier of Night hits. Okay, yeah, no, there we go. So we've got the victory against Jund Sacrifice. Is there a deck which can actually beat this one? Or is there a deck we can't beat? Sorry, I should probably get that. Let's quickly get to our third and probably final game. If it's a really quick one, there's a possibility for a fourth. But I need to get this edited for you guys and uploaded for 8 o'clock tonight as of recording. I do upload every Thursday at 8 PM GMT and every Sunday at 8 PM GMT, so 2 uploads a week, just for this while I'm doing my A levels, because that's my current stage of education. And when I've got more time, okay, I'll play. My turn 1 play here is actually, I think I'll play Pelt Collector. The next turn, I'll play Fabled Passage Edgeways Keeper if I don't get any 2-drop. If I get Paradise Druid, I'll probably play that instead. So we're against another Azorius base deck. It's probably junk, however, the turn. Let's not sack it. Oh, we can sack it at any point because we know that. Okay, so we won't be able to do anything without 1 mana. Get another green here because we need a double green for questing beast. We've already got double red in hand if we've got the Undercleave. So we've got Opt. If I don't get a 3-drop here, I'll play the Clofist, but if I get a 3-drop creature, I'll play that instead. So I need another Devotion for that to actually class as a creature. Just wait for this guy to see what he's going to do. Don't want the extra mana next turn to play this. I'd rather just set up to see if we get a better like adventure card to play. So it's possible to just simply play against straight Azorius control here. I guess this land is playing against Simic. Alright, that's a nice for us. Not really white this turn, of course, but if it doesn't really white, this has been very good. So we hit for 8 points of damage. Then the turn after will Clofist to remove this from his graveyard. Because we obviously this exile card. This will actually so it will buff up Pelt Collector. So essentially we're praying he doesn't have Shatter the Skies. That's the one card which could totally set us back. He's got 5 cards in hand, so Shatter the Skies is possible. However, I think it's unlikely. Clofist. Any responses? Bouncing anything else to hand? How many cards in graveyard does he have? 3. So he needs a few more to actually be able to do anything. So he kind of, I'm not sure. So he's got 3, 4. He needs 2 more cards in the graveyard to be able to play for a Vanishing Light, taking my. I mean, I deal 6 points of damage to him next turn. He would take the Clofist, but then he knows I've got lethal on combat. So he bounces my Clofist to hand. So worry. Oh, question is beast. What can I do to stop? He has to get rid of a Clofist next time. go fists, so let's just sit back and see what he's got. He's got 3 cards in hand. He has to stop my questing beast. Yeah, there we go. He had to deal with too much on the board for actually there to be any point. He would have had to have a banishing light because this has indestructible. Also, it's not a creature, so it can't be the target of creature removal. Okay, against Simic, we'll add in these 2, and I think we'll drop down on Skargan Hellkite, and also let's drop down on a Spellbreaker. We like our early game plays in this matchup. It's just a case of us having to play around Teferis and Brazen Burrows with shooting Ceratops to make sure that the matchup is as good as possible as it can for us. Okay, seems good. Doesn't seem busted like I would have hoped. Well, it does seem busted after our 3rd turn. So next turn we'll do 2 points of damage with Bone Crusher Giant, then we start having a bit of fun here. I'm thinking next turn Bone Crusher, turn after, play the Bone Crusher, turn after Questing Beast. By then hopefully we've got another land to, there we go. So we can shifting Ceratops.
Sorry I'm late. Let's try this.
Let's just roll. See what he can do.
There goes nothing.
Right up on the head just then. Bit of jungle book. Questing Beast. Baby's got Brazen Burrow. It has to be noted here that he missed his land drop last turn.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
No. So what I'll do is I'll just keep getting down the Questing Beast because he's probably got a board right here. So I draw a card. It's really nice. Extra kind of play. Next turn, just run out my other Questing Beast.
I've got it.
It's a noble play. Okay, so he needs to play the cards. That threatening. Brazen Burrow. He's threatening Growth Spiral. I think we get the lethal. If he plays nothing, Shadow Skies seems good. So there's that. Land. You know what I said earlier about never one bit of my money because these would have been very getting rid of Spellbreaker, and then next turn I have 2 mana open. Look a good game. Beat us. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's definitely. Put it down imagine as we go 2-0, ending up with a 3-0 with this deck, bringing us to Diamond Tier 2. So we're now just 6 wins away from Mythic, and I can hopefully jam some kind of pretty good decks in Mythic rank. So thank you guys ever so much for watching the video. If you've made it this far, please could I just ask you one more time to subscribe, leave a like and comment on the video. In this video I'm just going to ask you guys if you can comment what other decks you would like to see me play. I'm going to be playing a lot more of this Gruul deck on the channel because I like it a load. But with that being said, have a great day, and I'll be back with another video for you guys on Thursday. Goodbye.